Hey guys, I'm Lizzie and this is Lizzie Reads, and welcome to my 2019 to 2020 transition. So, it's a mess, right? This was meant to be going up first week of the new year and I was going to be all, oh yeah, it's the new year, I'm going to start filming videos again because I've been desperate to get back to it for ages. I just haven't because I've just not found the time. I sort of fell out of love with filming a bit, not watching, not reading, I'll get onto that, but I just haven't filmed anything, uploaded. Oh, actually, that's a lie. I filmed loads of things last year, didn't edit any of it and didn't upload it. I mean, I stopped filming about 7 months ago, I think I wrote down. No, yeah, my last video was 4 months ago, but it had been really sporadic all that year. But basically what I am going to do is I'm going to talk you through my goals, or like what happened last year, what I'm hoping to happen next year, and try and get back into filming and talking to you guys because I really like it, and no matter how little people watch it, there's still someone gonna watch it, hopefully, fingers crossed. So basically I read 115 books in 2019, which was 5 less than my Goodreads goal, and I was fine with that really. I knew my reading year hadn't been great. I mean, it's so hard to put into words because obviously it was great, because 115 books is loads, like a huge amount, but towards I'm pretty sure it was like 3 months before the end of the year and I'd only just hit half of my Goodreads goal. So something was a lot slower than previous years, and one of the main reasons I know that I hit my Goodreads goal is because I read loads of Christmas picture books. I think I read about 23. I tried to do a advent calendar for myself with Christmas picture books, and that is literally the only reason I got anywhere near close to it, and I enjoyed them and I didn't feel like I had to read them because of my Goodreads goal, because otherwise I would have read more picture books to try and hit the full 120. And I loved reading them and I really enjoyed them, and I've kept some of them back for next year. Some of them I've got to like pass on to friends and their children, but I just didn't have the same reading speed that I've had in previous years, or not the speed but the inclination and the time, but we'll get on to that in a minute. Let me consult, look, I've done a full page of notes, I'm so prepared. Sorry. But also, just to note, the reason that this is coming to you, I'm filming on January the 18th, hopefully I edit and upload within the next 2 days, is the reason it's coming to you so late is because I started my year, my decade, really just feeling a bit like poorly. I just had a bit of a cold, ear infection, it's all been too much, and I thought I'm still going to film this because I want to, and if I don't then it's not going to happen. And I just thought, sit down, film, talk absolute shit, and see if anyone's still out there listening to me. I think my main problem last year was getting stuck on large books that I didn't DNF, that I probably should have DNF'd. So I'll go through some examples of that in a moment. But there were times when I was reading books and I really thought that I had to read them. And this isn't because they're classics, or it's because I really wanted to read them and I wanted to like them, but I didn't like them, and they put me in huge reading slumps. Some of them, one book I recall took me like a month to read, and that's really unusual for me. And I just think I kept reading these large books that weren't piquing my interest, and then I wasn't interested in picking them up. Obviously, when I used to read so much, I was a student, or in part-time work, and I had so much more free time. I don't now, and obviously in the evenings I'm more tired than obviously I used to be. Full-time work is tiring. Sometimes I just want to do other things. That doesn't mean I don't love reading, I don't enjoy reading, but I just sometimes things get in the way, and that's fine. But that's what happened. All of the books that sort of put me in a reading slump are in my least favourite books of the year, which I'm about to go into. I'm not doing a whole separate video for that, because if I had the time, well, I do have the time. If I made the time, if I made the effort to do it, I could. But I thought it's a bit late now, so I may as well just roll it all into one. So I'm going to start my least favourite books, because that is what we're talking about right now. My top, my least favourite book of the entire year, the most disappointing. I can't believe I even read the whole thing. I'm just so upset with it. The Secret Commonwealth by Philip Pullman. I detested it. I absolutely detested it. I'm pretty sure I don't even remember what happened, because I skimmed the whole last section, the whole last part, because I'm just like, this is boring. I'm not I was bored. I didn't think the plot was right. I didn't like Lyra. I didn't like the way her life was going. Maybe that's just me. Like, it wasn't necessarily, oh my god, I hated it. And I felt so sad, because I absolutely adore his Dark Materials, and I loved the Book of Dust. I thought the Book of Dust was brilliant. I thought it was so exciting, intriguing, and my interest was so piqued, but I was just bored the entirety of The Secret Commonwealth. And this was one I felt I had to finish, because I want to know what happens. I wanted to know what was the next step for Lyra. I wanted to know, like, I couldn't just not finish it, because I was hoping that it would be better. And I know that when the next instalment comes out, I will want to read it, even though I hated this one, and I will force myself to read it, because I want to know what happens. I want to know if there's a resolution. And I think in this way, I'm like, oh yes, you shouldn't have DNF'd it. You shouldn't have DNF'd it because of this reason. But I just detested it. I hated it. And I know it wasn't a fan favourite amongst certain people on BookTube. But I read it, and yeah, well, just by the by, it was my least favourite book of the year, because I think it's probably the pressures I put on the book. I was so hyped up for it. I was so excited for it. But it fell flat for me. I mean, not everyone. I mean, the writing was fine. It wasn't like the writing was bad. It was just I hated the plot. I hated the plot, and I hated the ideas, and that's, you know, just I didn't like it. But hopefully there's a whole reason, and maybe the last one will make me like that one again. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I felt I had to read it, and I did want to read it. I did have to read it in terms of my personal want, and I've just been ranting about The Secret Commonwealth for like 5 minutes. I'd probably done like 2 minutes actually, but I just didn't enjoy it. It wasn't great for me. It's by the by. The next one, it's a whole series, and 5 minutes ago I just pulled it off my shelves, because I was like, I don't want it on my shelves anymore, and that was Game of Thrones. I read the entirety of Game of Thrones, and that's where it started, because I started reading them in maybe like February time, I think. They took me ages to get through it. I had to like storm the audiobooks, because I just hated reading them that much. But I don't know why I read them, because I loved the series. Didn't love the most recent series, like the most recent season, but I loved the entire thing as a whole prior to this, and I was like, I have to read it. I want to know all the small details. I want to know what happens. And I just found them so long. And it's not that I didn't like the story. I liked the story less than the TV show. They put me in such a slumpy mood, because they were so long, and I just was like waiting for them to finish. Like, I really, really shouldn't have carried on with them. Like, after the first couple, I should have just stopped. But I made myself finish all of them. And I don't know why I did that. Like, I don't know why I put myself through that. And the thing is, if the next one comes out, I will read it, because I want to know what George R. R. Martin would do differently to the TV series. That's what I want to know. But I just wish I hadn't bothered. And it's so annoying to say, because I do like Game of Thrones. I mean, I know it's gone really downhill, and I wasn't a fan of the last season, and or the season before that. Everything was really rushed, but I just feel that I shouldn't have bothered. I didn't gain anything new from it. I was like, oh, this is interesting, this has just happened, oh, this is a bit different, but I didn't gain any like excited, like it didn't make me feel nostalgic for the TV show. It didn't make me, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it for me personally. I'm not saying that they're bad books. I just think maybe I wasn't in the mood for them and I forced myself. God, it wasn't a good one. It wasn't good this year. Another one of my least favourites this year was Black Leopard, Red Wolf by Marlon James. Not to say that this is a bad book. This is another book that was just too long for a plot that I wasn't interested in. And I really enjoyed it at the time because me and a co-worker were both reading it at the same time, and we were discussing all the weirdnesses, all the weird and the quirky moments that happened in it, and that was fun and that was really enjoyable because it is such a weird book and so many weird things happen. I thought, oh yeah, this is really fun. And then afterwards I thought, I am not taking in anything that has happened because it was so long and so overwrought, and it was beautifully written, but it wasn't my favourite. And if I was to rank it in books this year, it would have been like right down there with these. And that's not to say I don't recommend it. I just think I should have been like, this is not really for me. A bit too long, a bit overwrought. I just don't understand what's going on. And then the last book that I wish I never read and also forced myself to read was The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. I nearly forgot who it was by then. Why did she do it? Why? Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me why I bothered reading it. I just love The Handmaid's Tale so much, and it just didn't live up to my expectations. It wasn't. I just think it was better as a one book story, and the whole idea and the knowing that she just did the dirty on the story. She did the dirty on The Handmaid's Tale. And it's not that I didn't like the plot, it was so pointless to me, and there was a bit where it really picked up for me, and I was left feeling like I feel like this has tainted my original viewing, my original reading. And I'm just going to stop there because I'm just like bad mouthing these books. I'm not really talking about them critically because it's been so long since I've read them. I didn't make any notes on that. We're just going to quick fire our best books of the year. Becoming Michelle Obama, absolutely changed my life. Love Michelle Obama. Normal People, Sally Rooney, best book I read this year. It was brilliant. It was fabulous. Oh my god, I think about it all the time. It got under my skin. It got in my. Oh, it was brilliant. I know I'm late to the party on both of those, but they were the top two books I read this year. My absolute favourites. I'm obsessed. I listened to all of the Wayward Children series. I've really enjoyed that by Shauna Maguire. I loved everything by Leigh Bardugo, absolutely everything. I read the entire Grishaverse, and I've just read Ninth House. Spoiler alert, I'm obsessed. Anything by Leigh Bardugo last year I was loving. She's a brilliant YA fantasy writer. Now I know she's a brilliant adult fantasy writer. Love it. La Belle Sauvage made it up there because it was brilliant. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was very nostalgic, so magical, and thinking about it makes me feel warm and fuzzy. Black Ice Bridge by Alex Bell, which is the third instalment to the Polar Bear Explorers Club. I read that at Christmas, absolutely adored it. I really enjoyed Ghost Wall by Sarah Moss, consumed it in an afternoon. I just remember really vividly enjoying that. Wondersmith I read last year, and that is by Jessica Townsend, second in the Nevermore series. Loved it, can't wait for the next one to come out. Anything by Karen Slaughter that I read last year really gripped me, really good thriller writer. And Postscript by Cecilia Ahern, the sequel to P.S. I Love You, had me in tears. I absolutely wept. And yeah, so those are my favourites. Bit of positivity to after the ranty negative, but I'm just trash talking. I wasn't like being constructive. I wasn't being not even constructive, because they're best-selling authors. They don't need my my constructive criticism, but I wasn't being organised about my thoughts. So I'm sorry, it was all a bit ranty and crazy. So there's loads of books I did enjoy. I just got some stuck on some books that I probably shouldn't have read, or I probably should have just DNF'd. So that leads to my reading resolutions 2020. I've kept my 120 book Goodreads goal. I think I can read that many. It just depends, and I don't really care if I don't get it. Because last year I wasn't like, obviously I'm like, oh yeah, it'd be great to finish reading it, but hit the goal. Because I'd be like, yes, I read fucking loads of books this year. But I said it at 120 because I like seeing how many like I need to read like each week for the rest of the year, like to reach that many. I like seeing that number. I don't know, I just enjoy it, and I think honestly, I know everyone gets a bit arsey about the one Goodreads goal, and everyone thinks it's so great, and that is great. I'm so pleased for those people, but I can handle the goal. It doesn't stress me out. Yeah, ask me again in December. DNF more. I want to DNF so much more. I don't want to read books I'm not interested in. I think I didn't DNF anything last year. I've been picking up better books, but I've also just been powering through books I think I should read. So I'm just gonna not waste my time anymore, move on. I want to read more of my proofs. I've got a lot of proof copies of books from work, and I just want to read more of them instead of setting these strict goals for myself and having to read the things I think I should be reading. And I want to read more diversely and widely as usual. That's always a goal for me. I feel like last year I just let those sorts of goals slip below my radar. I just sort of picked up things because I felt like I was falling behind. I only picked the things I really, really wanted to read, like books that were upcoming and things like that. But I just want to read more widely, more diversely. I want to read a few things that are different to anything I've ever read before, but also I want to read more fantasy because I love fantasy. It's my favourite genre. Yeah, so we're just going to see how that goes. And that's it really. That is all I have to say. Literally. I'm just me, just being here. I'm going to try and do like a video a week. That would be really, really good. Really like to do that. There's some possible things coming up, like I want to do like a reading mood, like what am I in the mood to read at the moment, kind of like a TBR style type thing, but I'm sick of piling my books in my TBR and never ever finishing them. That stresses me. 120 Goodreads goal does not stress me. Not reading my TBR stresses me out. Yeah, so I've been a bit crazy today, but yeah, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please like, comment and subscribe. And I am currently reading, this is a new feature at the end of my videos, I'm going to tell you what I'm currently reading, like dedicating most of my time to, and I'm currently reading Beneath the Rising by Premi Mohammed, and it is a proof I've got, comes out in March 2020, but it's really interesting. I'm 30 pages in, but yeah, I'm interested. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. Do whatever you want. Chat to me. I don't really care. Thanks. Bye.